dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sith Talk. Today we have on the show Kyle from the Top Shelf Nerds YouTube channel. How you doing, Kyle?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So just tell us a little bit about your channel and where we can find you at.
So we're really just kind of a big network for nerds. We're trying to make one space for nerds to come and do everything: Star Wars, Harry Potter, Marvel, you name it. We're gonna have original shows. We're gonna have trailers. We're gonna have fan made trailers. But we're also doing like nerd food, nerd cooking shows. We're doing nerd music. We're doing all sorts of different things, and kind of like a
Nice.
talk show, but comic books. So you name it. We're trying to make one space where everybody can just come in and enjoy being a nerd because we don't really get that opportunity quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and it's been fun. So it's been fun and crazy. So we'll see where it goes from here.
Yes. So for you guys watching, I'm going to put the link to his channel down in the description and his Instagram, bro. Your Instagram has been crushing. Like you are like one of the most consistent on there. And every time I see you post, I'm like, damn, I got to keep up with this guy because it's like nonstop every day. So like you're crushing it, man, on Instagram for
Appreciate
sure.
it. Yeah, I need to switch to YouTube now though because I'm not consistent at all there. So
Yeah. You got to find that balance.
yeah, well, it was crazy because all the channels went to like 37, then 20 on TikTok, and then 11 or 12 on Facebook. So it all kind of like went up. But consistency, if you're watching,
Yeah.
consistency, that's the key.
Yes. So everybody that comes on the show, they get 3 questions. You ready?
Yep.
All right. So the first one is, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
It's a hard one for me because I've thought about this a good bit, uh,
Uh-huh.
but I will go episode 3.
Nice. Revenge of the Sith. So why Revenge of the Sith?
Uh, there's 2 reasons. So number one, because I think that's where kind of Hayden came into his own as an actor
Mm-hmm.
himself, but then also the story that was told, like that whole arc and the ability to see like 2 brothers that were brothers, that like literally fought together, watch clones die together, right? With all
Yeah.
these tribulations having to come to a head and like fight each other, and then seeing that kind of story arc and like how a woman can just break you, right? And so it's Revenge of the Sith. I watched it when it came out on midnight release, and I remember like I cried, man.
Yes.
I cried. I was like,
Yeah.
this is good.
Yeah, man. I saw it midnight too. I remember it like it was yesterday, man. Thursday, midnight, 2005. And like it was so good, man. Like I just love the fact that we went in and you knew how it had to end. Like
Yep.
he had to end up being Vader. And like it just was beautiful, man. So yeah, that's my favorite as well, man. Like I it never gets old rewatching it, and every time I rewatch it to this day, it hits you like right in the feelings
Yep.
every time, especially that monologue between Obi and Annie at the very end when they're fighting. Oh,
Yep.
so
But
good,
the cool
man.
part was that MegaCon got the cool thing where he's like, "Hey, well, he had the high ground," So that was that
Yeah,
was that was pretty dope.
yeah, to hear that, man. Yeah, I was in there for that panel, bro. So I was so lucky to like actually get to enjoy that and absorb it. And he talked a lot about Revenge of the Sith. I'm sure you've seen like the full panels that people have
Oh yeah,
posted.
I watched the whole thing the next day. I was like watching it the whole hour. So it was
Yeah,
great.
yeah, because I saw the next day it was you and Star Wars Siths under like Star Wars underscore Siths, and you guys were posting from it, and I'm like, oh shit, these guys already got clips out. I got to get on it. I can't let them get all the juice because like you guys put in work like quick because I didn't realize somebody posted the whole panel already on YouTube, and then I saw you guys going in, so I was like, yo, I got to edit. I got to
So
edit. I got to I
they
got to
sent
keep up with
they
the
sent the
boys.
footage. They sent the footage, and so we clipped it, and it's like, yeah, I'll do this, and he did that, and so it
Yeah.
was cool. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that was
know.
fun.
I try to do different ones that you guys didn't do. That way, everything that was up was like
Yeah,
different parts. Yeah,
gotta make the fans happy with different things. But that was a cool panel.
exactly.
I definitely want to go to MegaCon next year. I was supposed to go this year, but it just didn't play out. So
Oh man, yeah. Next year should be wild because like last year was really good. This year was a little bit better than last year, so I think they're gonna keep it up. I'm praying Hayden makes it 3 in a row because
yeah,
this is the first show he's ever done 2 in a row.
yeah,
He's never been to any con twice in a row.
that's cool.
So All right, the next question: what's your favorite Star Wars show?
Oh yeah, that's also a really. I mean, I would definitely say Clone Wars, but Tales of the Jedi was so good. Uh,
Yeah.
so it's like it's kind of a toss for me because like those have kind of like and Rebels was good too, but I still edge out Clone Wars because like so I'm a little different. I'm kind of in the middle between all the Star Wars fans. Like I had kids young, so all my kids are teenagers, right?
Uh-huh.
So when they grew up with the Clone Wars. They didn't grow up
Oh.
with prequels and 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
So my son's favorite character since day one was Anakin.
Uh,
Mine used to be for a while Luke, right? And
mhm.
so, but he was just Anakin, Anakin, Anakin. I'm like, I see it, but like if you only really see him in the first three, you're kind of like, okay, then Vader, cool. But then you watch Clone Wars, you're like, okay, yeah, yep, I see you, Anakin, I see you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Clone Wars.
Yeah, Clone Wars, bro, so good. That 7th season, those last 4 episodes, which was basically Revenge of the Sith 2.0 from a different
Oh
angle,
yeah,
like it blew
so
me
good,
away.
so
I re-
good.
I remember being at home and when you heard Hayden's voice during that animated and you heard like Mace Windu and Ian McDermott, bro, I like my mind blew. And then we got Order 66 again.
Yep,
Bro, that was such a special moment. Like,
so good.
yeah, I didn't expect Filoni to use the actual voice of the live action actors and throw it in there. That like caught me off guard, blew my mind.
Just chef's kiss, just chef's kiss,
Yeah,
right?
man.
And then the
Fil-
final shot with the stakes and the helmets and stuff are just like,
Yeah,
oh
tears, bro.
yeah,
Tears.
so good.
So good. So then the last question is who's your favorite Star Wars character? So is it Anakin? Oh.
It's funny because I actually have things right here. They're all over the place.
Oh, Revan. Really? He's your number one.
Yeah, I have pretty much everything Revan. I had a custom helmet made in Italy for like the whole helmet for Revan. So my cosplay when we do the next Revan trailer will be the full armor with the full helmet and everything too. So Revan is my favorite, and the reason why I can give you a reason too is because the way his whole story arc,
Mhm.
being like the cool best Jedi, he just pushed himself, was really really in depth with the Force, right? Didn't really agree with the Jedi Order, kind of like a Qui-Gon, right? Then he
Uh-huh.
goes to Mandalore and single-handedly defeats the greatest Mandalorian of all time, almost single-handedly taking down the Mandalorian army, which at that point in time the Mandalorians were decimating planets, right? They were kind of like pirates. They were just kind of taking over the strong survive kind of mentality. And he kind of came in, and obviously his journey to the dark side. But then you also get to see it's rare you get to see someone go like Anakin, right,
Uh-huh.
from light to dark to light, right?
Yeah.
And so, but even when he went back to the light, it wasn't like full light, And so that's kind of my guy. So I just ever since I played KOTOR, I had my wisdom teeth out when I played KOTOR when it came
Uh-huh.
out, and that played that game for like 3 days in recovery. So it was just like Nice Little Republic, just constant, and that just stuck with me. So
So that's how you first were like introduced to Revan was KOTOR and then like you read the book and all and everything afterwards?
yep,
That's awesome. Do you want to see him in like animated or live action?
I do. Uh, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of selfishly want to be the person that brings him live action first. Uh, so there's a whole kind of story arc that I've written with that. Like everybody when I watch my trailer, they're like, "Why is his helmet off?" I was like, "Well, he said he would only take his helmet off if every Mandalorian was defeated. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
every Mandalorian had to be defeated, right? So Mando and Bo and all these people could be everywhere else, but if he at this point in time had defeated the Mandalorians, maybe he'd take it
Mhm.
off, right? So there's a lot of cool things I think dive in. I think the book was good. I think he kind of had a weak send off, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely it. I
Did
want
you
to see him live action too, though.
Yeah, I'm sure because you're up on everything just like all of us, but like remember how there were rumors that potentially an acolyte he could be in there like in a flashback or like in a holocron. Would you
Yeah,
want to see him in acolyte?
I do. I do want to see him in acolyte. Uh, and I have a theory I'm working on
Okay.
too with and I can just say it here, I guess, because why not? Because I'll make it before anybody else does. But
Yeah.
uh, how does Mace Windu get his purple kyber crystal, right? So, like, how did that happen? Instead of like Sam Jackson just going, "Hey, I want purple," and the only
Yeah.
known purple lightsaber in canon is Revan's. So how does he get?
Oh. Oh, that would be sick.
So, and Mace is one of those people similar to Revan where he has that balance of power, right? And so he's a
Yeah.
big, powerful Jedi. And so, what if he like hunts down different Sith temples and goes through them? But his final task, right? His final task to get this balance of power is to fight like Force Ghost Revan, and Revan like his kyber crystal comes out in a lightsaber, and like that's how Mace gets his purple kyber crystal. So,
That'd be
yep,
sick, man. Yeah, hopefully we get him or like I didn't we almost get him in Clone Wars? Didn't Filoni have like Revan
yep.
and Bane?
There was a
Like,
deleted scene of Revan and Bane, and that whole
yeah.
and it's cool, but I think they realized it probably wasn't the right time. I think like
Yeah.
it was cool, and that's the other thing with Revan too. He's a Sith Lord, right?
Uh-huh.
He also goes back to the light in the game. Now you could play light and dark in the game, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to know. Like, is he gonna be white? Like, actually, like I said, dude, I have everything right here. I was doing some videos. So, like, is he this guy,
Ooh.
white suit Revan, or is he black suit Revan? We don't know.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's always cool because like the white suit Revan's pretty dope.
That is what's up, man. So I got a few things we're gonna talk about, but
Yep.
one is it just popped up today, and I'm pretty sure you probably commented on when I posted something earlier. But what was it? Empire Magazine, their Instagram post was just the
Hello there.
stars. Hello there, and then tomorrow at 4 p.m. So we're recording this on Thursday, so this will drop tomorrow at 11, to the day that we'll figure out what it is. But bro, what the heck do you think that means?
That's a great question because I was on a particular video with somebody when that happened, and it was interesting because I was like, okay, well, what does this mean? And so I had a small discussion, and it was kind of like, well, obviously that's Obi's, that's Obi-Wan's thing, right? Hello there is his thing. So,
Yeah.
but it could just be a prelude to being like, hello there, we got an announcement kind of thing. And obviously, I think they confirmed Mando's in the next movie, right? It's not Rey. I think they confirmed that recently too.
Yeah, yeah,
So by them putting that, maybe it could because Empire being what it is, right? It could just be a nice interview with Ewan, right? To
yeah,
kind of cool thing. So I'm kind of torn. I'm like, it could be a cool announcement for Obi season 2, because it's kind of cool. Like they did Kenobi, like, and he's on the MegaCon. He's like, "You want to see more? Spam now,"
yeah.
you know.
He
So
he did say that, right? Which is kind of, kind of weird. And then like 2 days later, wasn't he just on Jimmy Fallon, the Jimmy Fallon show?
yep, and he talked about MegaCon and how much he
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah, it was cool.
So it's like it seems like he's like on a press tour, like maybe he's gonna be at Empire next, and like I don't know, man. But if it is Kenobi season 2, do you want a Kenobi season 2?
Mm, so I watched Kenobi season 2 at Disney World because we had a trip where when it came out, right?
Yeah.
And we're sitting there watching it, and I'm going, I just wanted. It was kind of like Boba Fett for me. I felt like I wanted more Kenobi. You know, I felt like
Yes.
some of the characters, like for me, it's like some of the characters just weren't. They weren't. weren't excited about them. Like we had some great Inquisitors from Clone Wars that I think
Yeah.
were cool. Some of them felt a little off. Obviously, the end fight scene. Come on, I mean that was pretty dope.
Beautiful.
Yeah, to have the cracked mask and
Yeah.
it was perfect. And then to hear the behind the scenes of that show, I think I actually like the behind the scenes of like
More than the
Ewan
show.
and Hayden talking about the show
Yeah.
more than the show. I
Yeah.
think there could have just been a little bit more. Like I think it was nice to see young Leia, but I think it was almost too much, right?
Yeah.
I think if we'd have seen more Kenobi, like the struggle was there, which was nice to see him like struggling with building back up that confidence of the Force. And it was kind of cool to see like this Force wielding person like faking to be a Jedi. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was kinda funny,
It's
yeah.
like the black market kind of Jedi, like
Yeah.
I got powers, right? It was pretty funny, but I'd be open to it, but I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, and it's so hilarious that you want the main thing you wanted was more Kenobi in the Kenobi show, which is what we all wanted, like, yeah, like, I'm kinda open to it somewhat, but I'm hoping, like, they're like, "Okay, Kenobi 2, written by Dave Filoni," because if Filoni writes it, we know it's gonna be a bomb-ass story that he's had in the back of his mind from Clone Wars, Rebels, like, he just has stuff saved.
Yep.
But if it's like who was the other one, like Joby Harold or some random person or something that wrote the first season?
Yeah, it's funny because that person actually reached out to me.
Oh, really?
So yeah, after the Revan trailer, it was pretty funny. So I have his email, and we were, it's interesting how how these things kind of play out with different writers and different arcs, right? And
Yeah.
so I think sometimes, like for me, what's happened with Disney lately has just been the execution, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're on set, it's hard to execute. Like it's because you get tunnel vision, right? You're like, I'm looking in frame. This is what I see, and like some people forget the larger picture, right?
Hmm.
And so if you're shooting like an episode at a time, sometimes you'll get like, okay, we're focused on episode 5 of Ahsoka, right? Whoa,
Yeah.
mind blown. The eyes are bleeding, right? But then you forget, well, we got to continue this. So how does this continue? And I think what Disney's doing with their whole philosophy of the different directors is, in my opinion, cute, but it doesn't make for the continuity. You can feel the continuity from Mando season 1 just start to really kind of like butter spread over too much bread,
Yeah.
Like that felt like it got spread out too far, and you're like, come on, bring it back. Let's go.
Yeah.
Because we know you
Exact.
can do it. You did it, right? Let's just do it again.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. Their Instagram said 4 p.m. tomorrow, but like, are they like UK based or are they a US company?
I don't know. I don't know if they're UK or US, but
Yeah, because I'm hoping it's 4 p.m. I mean, I'll be prepared at 11 a.m. just in case, because I'm off tomorrow. Like I just happen to be off. But
same.
yeah, so yeah, we're gonna have clips shorts out real quick tomorrow for sure. But it's gonna yeah, I just wonder what it is.
I mean,
And
I
like
don't think they would do it for an interview. Like I don't think they
yeah,
would be like, "Hey, it's an interview. It's a magazine piece." So
yeah.
it's interesting, but it's interesting that it's not from Disney, right?
Disney or Star
Or
Wars or
Star Wars.
Lucasfilm. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So that popped up today. I think it was yesterday, and I'm pretty sure you hate this. I don't really like it either, but the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, like the official
Logo.
logo, and like that's the title of the movie, which I thought they were just referring to it as
Look
that,
at this.
but they made a logo. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that logo
Actually,
and the title?
so I posted about it. So for those of you that don't know, actually, I'm a creative director full time. I do marketing and branding and stuff, and so I have an opinion on this. And I think I've made some Star Wars logos and I've made some stuff, but like when I see this, it's just lazy design. But the fact, like for me, speaking from a creative standpoint, if any of you are creative,
Hmm.
they stacked Mandalorian and then put like Grogu in the corner in the same font, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like the logo's like this, and Star
Yeah.
Wars is like chilling over here, right? And so what we call that in the industry is a camel. It's a horse designed by committee. Uh, that's what that is, bro. And so, but I think the whole Mandalorian and Grogu, like if you just did and Grogu like small like Star Wars underneath in the center,
Mhm.
totally fine. But it's like for some reason they want to give Grogu the same presence as
S
Mando. I
Yeah.
just don't. I don't know. Grogu's cool. Uh, I'm interested to see what they do to that movie. So
Yeah, so, like, are you when they announced that it was gonna be a movie, were you excited? Because I know a lot of people had mixed feelings. What did you think when you heard about that announcement?
I made a little skit. I don't know if you remember that. I mean, like a little skit, like Galactic News. Remember when it happened?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I had this whole like thing where Grogu was like, "It's my movie. It's not Mando's movie," kind of thing. It's funny, but I was excited because John Favreau, right?
Mm,
And so like most people forget, John Favreau really kicked off the MCU. Like he
Iron
started
Man.
Iron Man, man. That movie like it was one of the best superhero movies ever made. Like we got the backstory, we got everything we needed.
Yeah,
It was the best thing Marvel did since DC did Dark Knight, right? And so
yeah.
I'm excited to see where John takes that. And I had no idea John was such a big Star Wars fan until some of these Vidocs and stuff came out, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm part of Lucasfilm now." I was like, "Yeah, let's go, dude. Come on."
Yeah.
And so I think I was excited because John's attached to it. Not to say Dave's not great. I love Dave. I think he
Mhm.
writes some compelling stories, but I think John can take the live action component of that because it is, regardless of what people think, an animation movie versus a live action movie. That's very different, right?
Yep.
Animation, you control the face, right? You control the voice actors, and you get a few takes to do it. When you're doing live action, you're relying on the actors to give that emotion and to act right for you. So if you don't have the right cast or something's not going well, then obviously something's going to slip. So I think in that respect, I think Dave is a genius at some of the pieces he does. But obviously, we also know that there's some meddling in stories.
Yep.
So uh,
Mando season 3.
and everyone's like, yeah, that happens, and it's like, okay, well, what are we gonna do about it? But now that John's promoted a little bit higher, uh, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for that this movie is going to really bring us into something. I don't know what, but I hope this movie is going to fill in that episode 6, 7. I hope it doesn't bring us into like this is how the new ugly stormtroopers are made, kind of thing or something.
Yeah, yeah.
There's the
I
first
don't.
order, and it's like, oh god, no.
Yeah, I'm hopeful for it. Like you said, like I trust John. Like I love, bro, everything he's done, bro. Like I love John Fav. But my only thing that I want like cleared up because it was never clear from the beginning. Like, is it this movie plus Mando season 4, or is Mando season 4 this movie? Or they're saying there's going to be 6 episodes of Mando season 4, and this is the finale. So I just
Yep.
want to know like what's what.
Yeah.
That's all I
What's
want
what?
to know.
Like Mando and Grogu are chilling in a cabin, right? Like they're just like
Yeah,
chilling in the cabin. Like I'm like, what happens? Like the Empire bounty hunter shows up, right? Blows up the cabin, and like something happens, and Mando goes on like on a revenge bounty hunt or something. I don't know. Like it's just how do you pivot? Like why was that's the big thing that's been going in the back of my head was why was season 3 so resolute? Like it felt like
yeah,
there was a very definitive like send off almost, and it was just like
yeah.
why? Like I'm just trying to piece together in my head like why? Why was it like a send off?
So I forgot where I saw this, but somebody was theorizing that what if this is kind of like a prequel movie and we see like Mando before Mando season 1, him becoming Mando and stuff, and what if we see
Yeah.
like Grogu before he gets caught by those pirates, maybe after Order 66, maybe we see who gets them from Keller and Beck. So what if it's like a prequel kind of movie, and then towards the end of the movie, a times jump to right at the end of Mando season 3, and it kind of leads into either season 4 or the Filoni movie. That would be kind of crazy if it was like that, where Grogu was like on his own half the movie and Mando's doing his thing half the movie. I think I might like that more.
It would be cool. I personally like, and that's the thing with opinions, right? Everybody has different ones. That's what makes us great. I don't think Grogu's a strong enough character to have kind of his own thing yet.
Oh, yeah, no,
Like
100%.
to,
I
to
just want
cut,
to see Order
to cut,
66 stuff.
yeah, the Order 66 stuff. Obviously, we want to see the 501st, right? That's what we want to
Yeah.
see. We want to see Hayden, So I think and it's funny because like it's funny how that Order 66 thing like just carried from 2005 to like now as like being like just either like a super serious emotional moment or like the funniest freaking thing you'll see on the internet, like.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I did an AI thing with like Anakin taking a selfie with all the younglings, like first day being
Yeah.
Sith, and it's like it's just because you can. It's so fun to like play in that kind of space and era. But I think it'd be cool to see. We kind of saw Grogu obviously with the vision, which that was really a cool part, right? When they're hitting the armor,
Yeah.
like that was really well done. I think I love the way they did those shots, and it's like hit
Yeah.
the armor, ooh, vision, hit the armor, ooh, this happened to me, crap. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's cool. I'm curious. It's like where does Grogu go from here? I'm kind of interested in that. I think Mando has had all this sacrifice. He's learned to care for something, right? I think
Mhm.
he, as a character, which I do love Mando. I have a lot of Mando stuff,
Yeah.
but I love Mando. Mando season 1. After I watched, I was like, that's my new favorite TV show. Period. You know, and it was, and it's still to this day. I can watch Mando season 1 and be like, this is it, man.
Yep.
It's right here. Because it felt like a Western. It felt like a Star Wars character. It was new. And it just goes to show that we can make new characters and they could be awesome. You know?
Yes, and like Ahsoka even proved that point too, because like Balin and Shin, I never thought that they would make two new characters that I would fall like, bro. She's here with me every stream,
Every
every video,
ready to
every
get
single
married.
one. Yeah, so like that right there is like really, really good hope that maybe in the acolyte, maybe there'll be a new Sith there that will fall in love with. That's what I'm hoping for. Like a badass Sith. It could be male or female. I don't care. Give them a red blade. Give them some dope ass armor and like give them a good story. So there's still hope. We have to just let it play out, and hopefully we get stuff like Balin and Shin. Because yeah,
Balin was I like Shin, but Balin for me was just that was my highlight of Ahsoka was Balin. I'm like
he was
perfect.
he was. Ahsoka was maybe like the third or fourth thing that I loved about the Ahsoka show. It was like Balin and Shin, Peridia, Hu Yang, and then you could throw Ahsoka down there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I was
I'm.
like every time I hear Hu Yang, I'm like, can I get a Hu Yang? But but yeah, man, I love Balin's story because it's like we have a new Qui-Gon. This is so
Yes,
awesome. And
yes.
I love the lightsabers. Like, so I actually know the guys that did the stuff in the show, and
Nice.
we talked about like just the lightsabers. I was like, I actually thought about doing a video on this too, like movie lightsabers, like right, which ones are the best ones for me? Ahsoka, hands down. They finally nailed it. It's not too bright. The way the lightsabers looked in that show were perfect.
Yeah.
Lightsaber battles, not so much.
Yeah, we need Nick Gillard back, man.
Yeah, we do. But Theory's hiring him up, so Theory, bring
I
him.
know.
Let him go back.
Yes.
Or keep him.
Yeah.
We'll see what you do with him.
So speaking of Ahsoka, so when they announced this Mando movie, bro, I thought this was the craziest way to announce that season 2 of Ahsoka was confirmed, because like they announced Mando and Grogu, and if you read the article, the last sentence was, "Yeah, Dave Filoni, who's also working on Ahsoka season 2." I was like, that's a huge thing to have
Look,
as a casual sentence.
They did this saber drop.
Yeah.
Out.
So, are you looking forward to Ahsoka season 2?
I am. I think. I actually, to be honest with you, like I think I gave it a 6 out of 10, and that
The
was
show?
that was like right before. That was
What?
right before Theory gave it the same score, I think. And so the reason here's what I will say, and because I'm a storyteller, and so
Uh-huh.
what I think is we have to be cognizant of what's kind of going on. I think not necessarily from a political standpoint, but from a storytelling standpoint.
Mhm.
I've watched it 5 times now.
Yeah.
So after watching it and going through, and I recommend that to anyone watching. Don't after you get done watching, don't like base it off of like the immediate reaction of like the end and then go think about it. Right? Come
Yeah.
back to it, watch it, really let it mull over. The best part, obviously, episode 5, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but if you look at the totality of that story, right, episode 5, you're just like, oh, Star Wars, right? You're like, done.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing. Because it showed so many great things that we've always wanted to see.
Mhm.
But if you look at that, that is kind of like it was like a, hey, we're gonna give you some cool stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like the next episode, like I was like, wait.
Yeah.
And then the next episode, like you kind of have Ahsoka just kind of going, like there's a lot of dead space in that show if you watch it. And so
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm coming from. I think the story is there, right?
Mhm.
My biggest thing, like I said before, was the execution. I was like, let's just maintain the execution. Is it because we keep changing directors? Is it because we're not? I think maybe they did spread
Mm.
Dave too thin. Maybe he was doing this and doing that, right? So you have
Yeah.
to think when you're doing all these big projects, there's hundreds of people involved in each one of these things, right? Millions of dollars. You have phone calls,
Yeah.
conferences all the time. So by the time you show up to set, you're like, what are we doing today? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you have to take all that into consideration. I just feel like for a general whole show score, I think 6 was good. It's above
Mhm.
average because everybody thinks 6 is so bad. I'm like, well, it's above average,
For the whole thing, yeah, I
the
get
whole
you.
thing. Like episode 5, I'd give like a 9.8, 10 out of 10. Like that was solid. And you're
Yeah.
like, but you can't, like the other thing too is like from cost. You can't maintain that for every episode. Like you can't have these massive clone battles and like it's just that's a movie,
Ha! Why not? Come on, man. That's the shit that we want,
A
man.
billion, like, well, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power costs $1 billion. So like, why can't Star Wars cost $1 billion to make? But
Yeah.
and I think that's what Disney's starting to maybe try and do is go, hey, look, let's focus, right? Because you can only focus if you focus, you can maintain quality. If you're trying to push too much stuff out, then that's where it kind of slips. So I think it just, I'm looking forward to it, but I will be honest, I wanted more Thrawn.
Oh, yeah. No, Lord,
Yeah,
yes.
wanted more
Yeah.
Thrawn. I think a Thrawny cameo at the end of season 2 would be funny. Right? Be pretty dope. I was like, this guy's an imposter. That'd be pretty cool. Will do it. But yeah, I think more Thrawn would be great. I can't wait to explore Dathomir live action. So
Oh.
two of my favorite games are Fallen Order and Survivor. Those were so well done.
Yeah.
If you haven't played them, best Star Wars games, period, to come out in the last like probably 10 years, 8 years.
That
Uh,
story in Fallen Order, bro, masterpiece. Yeah.
So good. And even Survivor, like I'm just like, this is so good.
Yeah.
There's so much loss and like stuff to get over, and it's just like that's what Star Wars is, and it's so
Yeah.
good. Like Cal Kestis, new character. Nobody knew him before. Now
Love him.
I have Cal Kestis everything. I love BD1 too. One of my favorite droids.
Dude, Kyle Kestis, Cameron Monaghan's line at MegaCon was ridiculous. My boy Ricky waited like 3 hours. Grayson at Mortis FM, he was in line probably the whole day, like 7, 8 hours. It was nuts.
Wow.
So people love the man. He's hype.
Yeah, well,
He's
I
hype.
love when he came in a celebration. He's talking about the ponchos, but that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. But I like how they give you some customization with that character, right? You can make him kind of your own, but it's still like obviously the actor. But yeah, I will say like that kind of story because we got to explore Dathomir in that game and
Mhm.
Fallen Order and even Survivor. more than anything. And we had some in Clone Wars, right? But like, it was cool to see kind of this. If you haven't played the game, spoilers. But it was cool to see that story kind of unfold, like a barren kind of Dathomir where the Night Sisters maybe are somewhere else, but you're fighting these kind of these powerful creatures around you, and it was just really
Yeah.
cool. Then you befriend a Night Sister, and it's like that. I see why. I see why Thrawn likes those girls. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I see why you like those girls, but I think that's where I'm really interested more so in episode 2. Ezra's story will be interesting too. It's funny how they flipped Ezra and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting move for me. It was like Ahsoka's trapped now, Ezra's back. So basically, we had a whole season where we just went swapsies,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I know. I know.
So we'll see, but I'm really looking forward to Ezra's arc. I think they casted him pretty perfect. It was
So he is freaking awesome. I met him at MegaCon,
no, it's awesome.
and I had a custom plaque made with his picture from the Ahsoka show, and instead of it saying Ezra Bridger on it, it said Jabba the Hutt, and he died when he saw that. And like I was talking to him, he's really hyped. And the one thing I said to him, I was like, man, I cannot wait for Ezra Bridger to meet Luke Skywalker because it's basically inevitable. And then he looked at me and he was like, I don't know what they have planned, but I want that too. That I want to meet everybody. So he's so hyped to be in that position of being Ezra. Like it's really nice to see like how genuinely happy he is in that
Yeah.
role.
I also really want to see in season 2 a live action Kanan, please.
We need it, man. Like we
Uh,
need that flashback or Force Ghost, whether it's with Ezra or Jason. Like, oh, we need to see it so
dude,
bad, man.
like so, and that's the thing is like so like Qui Gon, Kanan, you have all like even Balin, right? All these people that are like have kind of these. I know Gray Jedi is not a thing, but it's cool to dream. Okay, like I even said in my rant, I was like, we keep saying Gray Jedi don't exist, Dave, but Ventress has a yellow lightsaber, so like come on, dude.
Yeah,
We keep saying
yeah,
this, but Ray has a yellow lightsaber. Ventress has a yellow lightsaber now. So what are we doing here? So I think, but I would really love to see Kanan. Kanan's one of my favorites. I have his saber from Disney. It's such a cool saber design too. Like
it is,
Kanan
man.
is such a great story. Like just the way he kind of took on Ezra, him and Hera's kind of story, and then we don't even know like maybe Hera's boy, right, is gonna have force powers, and so it's like there's so many things that they can go down. I think there's a lot of story there, but please give us live action Kanan.
I know. We need that, man. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm pretty hyped for it because I think the trailer made me more hyped for it than originally I was thinking about it. But Bad Batch season 3.
Mhm.
So, did you enjoy the first 2 seasons of
Dude,
Bad Batch?
one of the best shows. Like
Nice,
I, I
nice.
actually, I actually, aside from Clone Wars, Tells of the Jedi, but Bad Batch has been fantastic. Like it's just nice to see this other kind of. I'm actually wearing a Bad Batch hat now. Shout out to
Yes.
heroes and villains. That
Heroes and villains. Yes.
99 on the side. So I'm wearing my shirt. So yeah, you can take that and keep the hats. But uh, it's just great. I mean, like I have all the figures right here. Like I literally do. I literally have all of the Bad Batch figures. Uh, just because I've been playing with them, shooting videos,
Yeah.
but they're cool. I like the story of Crosshair. I like how they didn't follow Order 66. That's a really cool story to kind of go down, right? This
Mhm.
different batch of troopers that's a little bit different. It's a really, really cool story. I'm interested to see what happened with Tech. So
Yeah, I enjoyed the first 2 seasons. There was like to me it was like half and half. Like half of it was just filler like Sid missions doing something stupid, but then the other half was like really good lore building like wow, like this is awesome. But that trailer for season 3 looks so good, and like I always loved the Asajj Ventress, and seeing her in there, man, got me more hyped.
yep.
So what do you think about Asajj coming back and not being
Uh,
dead?
well, technically, she did die, but the books aren't lore. Whatever. Well, I always found that funny. Real quick, the books aren't
Mhm.
lore, but it has your Lucasfilm logo on it. So just saying, they have to get your permission to publish it. So I'm really excited because like I actually went back after watching that trailer, and obviously I did this crazy thing with all the stuff there.
Uh-huh.
Pulled up all the different pictures and like did this crazy,
Oh, yeah.
and because I like Commander Wolf is right here too. So. But that's
Nice.
the thing. There's so many nuggets in that trailer, right? Cad Bane, Commander Wolf. Like then you have the whole Delta Squad. You're like, there's
Yeah.
so much stuff. What are you trying to do? But then Ventress hits, and you kind of go, I maybe see what you're doing here, and I think I went back and looked at Clone Wars. Remember there was that episode where Ventress dives into her Jedi, like how she lost her master in Dathomir.
Yeah. Hmm.
So when you watch that, she has hair, right? So
The
she
flashback. Yeah. Yeah.
flashback, she has hair and everything, right? And so, but that's when she kind of she finds her rage, right? So maybe
Hmm.
she found peace after everything that happened, and maybe she's just bouncing around helping out. Is she doing bounty hunting to maybe come hunt down, to get Omega? I don't know, but if Omega's locked
Yeah.
up, like it's just, it was very random. That's something when nobody expected. You're like Ventress, what? You know? So I'm really excited to see her and her story. And then we had the voice actors confirm
I was just
there's
about to say.
a lot more, right? Than maybe just like one episode. So it'll be interesting. I think it's what is it, 8 episodes for Bad Batch season 3?
No, isn't it 16? It's 15 or
Oh
16.
dang, there we go. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
do
I
it.
I, I think it was 15 because the other ones were 16. I think it was one shorter than the first two seasons. But yeah, that voice actor, she said that Bad Batch is just the appetizer and that we may get a dessert, an entree, and a dessert. So, like, in my mind, right away, I'm like, my theory that I had a few weeks ago, it might be half correct. Cause like Tales of the Jedi season 2, we still don't know who's in there. It could be Asajj, it could be Asajj and Quinlan because they were Jedi turned dark. Quinlan turned back. She turned like kind of like bounty hunter, gray, whatever you want to call it. And then I was hoping she would be live action after that, but I have a feeling we're gonna get another animated show, maybe around the clones, because there's no way Bad Batch season 3 is
Yeah,
gonna be the end of Dave's animation and that's it. There's
there's no way.
no way.
And
There's no way.
there's so many clone stories to tell. I would love to have a Delta Squad story, like Republic Commando type style, right? I'd
Yeah,
love to
they're in
dive into
there.
Rex's story more. Okay, he's one of my favorite guys too. Uh,
So we need to see how Rex, Gregor, and Wolf go from Bad Batch to Rebels. They're in that desert planet on that like
there's
AT
so
Walker
much
thing.
time to fill, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the cool thing about Star Wars. There's so many stories that they could tell, right? There's so many things that could be told, and like I think that's what
Mhm.
we long for that. But we also, if you're listening to Disney, we want you to take your time. Like I'm okay waiting, to get
Yes.
like Bad Batch quality and like Mando season 1 quality. It's okay to wait. It sucks when we have dry spells, right? We're like, there's nothing to watch. I watched everything. It kind of sucks,
Yeah.
but I mean, look at the dry spell between 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, right? And then from 1, 2, 3 to the sequels, right? So we had Clone
Yeah.
Wars, but I'd be more inclined to wait. It's nice that they're teasing all these things. Live action Ventress would be cool. Ventress is another example of a new character people fell in love with, Ahsoka, right? Like
Yeah.
so many things come out of Clone Wars, and you're just like, "Yep, I'm here for it." Darth Maul out of Clone Wars, like,
Yeah.
that story would be awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
and I think that's why I'm reassuring myself that I made the right decision on the show I picked, Clone Wars, because it's poetry.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
bro.
like, as opposed
Yeah.
to Bad Batch is great. I love Bad Batch. I have all the Lego sets, all the figures, and, like, so I
Mhm.
love Bad Batch, and I love the way that they gave the clones personality, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to do that when you have everybody's a clone, right? But having, Wrecker and Echo and all these guys, Crosshair, my son's favorite's Crosshair. I'm like, "Really? Come on, really?" But I think it'd be pretty cool. What I'm looking forward to is Crosshair's story.
Yeah.
I like how he kinda fell, and then he's kinda, like, having this hesitation, you know? So
Yeah.
I actually thought, like, a really cool end shot to season 3 would be, like, Crosshair on a cliff, like, looking at his helmet, right? And then you pan
Ooh.
down from him, and you see all of the Bad Batch's helmets on the ground, like, they all passed.
Oh, bro, you trying to make he would make us cry. I'm gonna have to have a box of tissues for the finale because if that happens, yo, that is so sad. If he survives, if he's the only one to survive out of all of them,
Yeah.
wow. Who's your favorite clone out of all the clones? There's a lot of them.
Ooh, that's a good question because I'm
And
sitting
my
here.
and my answer is a sleeper. You probably wouldn't even be able to guess it.
I'm pretty sure I won't. Uh, I go back and forth, right?
Uh-huh.
So, I love Captain Rex. I really, really do. I love Captain Rex.
Yep.
I love Wrecker too, by the way. I love Wrecker and Hunter. Like,
Yeah.
they're cool as hell. Uh, Commander Wolf is dope. Like, I love the way he looks. But I can't pick one. I can't pick one. But I will say Delta Squad. Those 4 commandos.
Oh, okay. Delta Squad. Nice, nice.
I love
So
the commandos, man. Like, so cool. It reminds me of like Halo ODSTs. So
Yeah, super Halo vibes. Yeah, man. So for me, I love Rex. I love Cody, right? I love Echo, bro. Echo almost
yeah,
stopped. No, fives. My
nice.
bad. Fives almost. I love Echo too. Don't get me wrong, but fives almost freaking stopped Order 66 before it happened. That's crazy. But my favorite clone is the one with the most heart out of all of them, and he's so slept on. He's only in 2 episodes of Clone Wars. 99, baby. I love 99. The little deformed guy
I
that's
got you.
yeah, bro. Like he's just like he was getting picked on, and
Yeah,
he was always there for his brothers and trying to
didn't care.
motivate them.
Nothing
And when
stopped him. Yeah,
all the smoke came, he was ready. Grenades, guns, like let's go, let's go. Like, bro, 99, justice for 99, bro.
yeah. Like that. I actually made a clip of that. I think one time where I was like, "Man, 99 story is so cool. Like
It
that
is.
moment in that battle, you have some of the best clones that we know, right? And they all
Yeah.
stopped. Like they all stopped, and they were like you could almost. They were probably crying in their helmets. It was like,
Yeah.
dang, and like we all felt that. Like when 99 went down, you're like, come on, really?
Yeah,
But
man. Yeah.
yeah, that's a sleeper, man. I didn't expect that one, but
Yeah.
that's a
Yep.
good one.
Heck yeah. So we kind of speak a little bit about it, but Tales of the Jedi season 2, who do you think we're gonna get in it, and who do you want to see in it?
Uh, we got a lot of the things I wanted in season one. Uh,
Yeah.
so I've actually there's also I don't know if people know this, but there's Tales of the Jedi comics. So that's where they got
Yeah.
the idea from, and so
Mhm.
they're great comics. You should pick them up. I think they're done by Dark Horse, which to be honest,
Yeah.
Dark Horse has made the best Star
The
Wars.
best. Yep.
Period. So if you wanted to read some good lore, Dark Horse comics, pick them up. Done. But I think I really want to see like I loved how we got Dooku Qui Gon. That was so cool. And then like
Yes.
Yaddle showing up was kind of interesting. It was nice to see a young Ahsoka. Um, I would love to see young Obi. Uh, like a
Training
young
with Qui-Gon?
yep, like a younger Obi training with Qui Gon. Maybe like continue Qui Gon's struggle from
Mhm.
season one. Maybe fast forward a little bit to when he gets Obi. And they talk like because obviously, well, not fast forward. Actually, we go back because
Back yeah,
we're back.
rewind.
And so, but I'd love to see that dynamic of those two, like actually start that kind of training and see what kind of Jedi was Obi when he was young, because you can tell like from episode 1 to 3, there was so much maturity, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But like what happened like before then, right? Because like one of my favorite scenes is when like like keep your concentration here and now, right? You should be mindful of the living force. Like that's a really
Yeah.
cool dialogue, and when you go back and listen to it, you're like, man. And then like you always I just want to see younger Obi. I would love to see that. I would love to see I'd love to I'm a Revan fan, so I would love to see somehow maybe not Revan,
Ooh.
but maybe the story of like Old Republic Sith. Like that
Mhm.
kind of like going back into that would be really cool to kind of see from the Sith side, right? Because with the only real Sith we kind of look at, well, two really, Anakin and Dooku, where we see a transformation, right?
Mhm.
We see like, hey, Dooku makes sense. He's making sense. Uh, so I would love to see that side of the Sith, like that kind of idea. I'm not sure who to. I don't want to speak to what character, but I would love to see another like story from the Sith side. I think those are really cool because I think they're very underrated. Most people, not J.K. Rowling, J.R.R. Tolkien said that pure evil doesn't exist. It's just good people that fall.
Yeah.
And so to hear that from like a Sith perspective would be awesome. I think.
Yeah, we need more Sith stuff, like, for sure. For Tales, like, I would love to see Asajj and Quinlan stuff, and
Ooh.
I feel like it's going that way, but, like, what I really want
Like a
is
recreation of the novel kinda thing?
yeah,
Yeah, that'd
yeah,
be cool.
yeah,
Well, they
and
had a
you could
deleted scene, right? No, but not in Clone Wars, right? With
it was a deleted episode from
the
Clone Wars
episode.
is what that book is based on. Yeah, but what I really want is Balin and Shin to see, like, Balin's story,
Oh,
him survive Order 66 and get away, and then maybe another episode, him finding Shin
yep.
and training her, and then another episode showing how they got to where they were in Ahsoka.
That'd be really
That would be sick. A selfish one, because I love Darth Maul. I would love to see Palpatine training a young Darth Maul. That just would be so cool. But you
like
bringing
how he gets him from Dathomir maybe or something?
yeah, yeah. But you brought up like a young Obi-Wan. I kind of would want to see a young Anakin. So between episode 1 and episode 2, seeing Obi-Wan
The boy and
train Anakin. Yeah, yeah. So like that would be kind of cool to see what that was like. So yeah, I
you know
just
what I'd like to see, by the way? I just thought about this too, Cal Kestis, young, because we get flashbacks in
oh
the video games, but it would be
yeah.
really cool to see him. That would be cool. See
And
him as
in
Master.
one of the books, I forgot if it was the Fallen Order book or whatever the book is, but I think they mentioned that Anakin met Cal Kestis as a Padawan somewhere like at the Jedi Temple or something like that. There was something where they like ran into each other or something like that. So
Yeah,
that
that popped up recently, I think, too, and they were like, that makes it hit so much harder when they see each other in, Fallen Order and
yeah.
Rebels. It's
Oh,
like,
you're right.
ugh.
Cause yo, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. But he I
The
mean,
coolest part though in Rebels was when Ahsoka and Vader meet. That was like,
oh, the Twilight of the Apprentice, yeah, that whole episode was insane. Those 2 episodes, because like, they go to the Sith temple, Darth Maul is just chilling in the cut by himself, waiting for what? And then the Inquisitors show up, there's a bunch of fighting, Maul blinds Kanan, he kills an Inquisitor, Vader pops up, Maul's like, "Yo, I'm out." So, like, I
he's
wanna
like, all right,
see
we're good.
yeah, like, obviously, he must have had beef with Vader because he knew who Vader was and he dipped,
Yeah,
and then, like, that whole thing with Ahsoka and Vader was just that whole battle was beautiful, so
it was,
beautiful.
and that was the episode 5 of Rebels right there. That
It
was
was.
that was a moment.
Han hands down, it was the moment, yeah.
It's good stuff.
So,
There's
this
there's so
Sunday
many Jedis. There's so many. Like I
I
said, now
know.
you got me going like down this like
Pl
Tales of the Jedi
Plo
season 2.
Plo Koon, Kit Fisto,
So many.
Mace, like, dude, you could do anybody, Ayala Sakura, like,
What if they retcon?
Kiadi Mundi.
What if they retcon Last Jedi? And well,
Very
I'm just
retcon.
saying. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If they flip it back and they kind of go, "Here's the story of Luke and Ben,"
Oh,
and you
no,
can
no,
be
no.
like,
I would love that. So a
"Let's
lot
see
of
it."
people want that. They want like Luke's Jedi Academy so we could see that story of him with Ben and like just see like that whole thing play out. I would love to see that.
Oh, that Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, one of my favorite games. Uh,
Yeah.
and then Kyle Katarn, like, would
Yeah.
love to see that. You know, yeah, there's so many freaking Jedi and Sith that I would love to see. Anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked 'cause I kept thinking through all these different people.
Nah, you're good, bro. You're good. So this Sunday, Super Bowl, do you like we're getting Deadpool 3 trailer. I'm hyped for Deadpool 3.
Same. He's
So
he's he's one of my top Marvels. So,
yeah, freaking oh god, bro. We could talk a whole hour about that. Hugh
oh yeah,
Jack, bro. I love Hugh Jackman. Wolverine. Oh my god. But do you think we're gonna get any Star Wars trailers? Because like they do have an Acolyte trailer. They do have a
I
Skeleton
don't
Crew trailer.
I don't think we are. And
Nah.
and here's why. Number 1, from a marketing perspective, my brain kicks in, it's Nickelodeon everything, Paramount everything, right?
Hmm.
So, Paramount's definitely pushing Halo. Like, Halo's gonna be a big thing. We're gonna see a
Yeah.
probably really cool Halo trailer that no one's really excited for. That well, we'll see how it goes. I'm a big Halo fan, but, uh, I think we'll see something else from Paramount. Maybe that's a special kind of announcement, for some maybe other big show that they're doing, like another Halo. I
Uh-huh.
think it's gonna be a lot about Paramount because they obviously paid big money. We're gonna get some funny commercials. I think we might get if we do get anything Star Wars, but see, like with the 2025 wait, is Mando 2025 or 2026?
2026. Not
2026.
yeah.
We're not gonna get a trailer for that. So if Acolyte trailer launches, it'd be cool, but we don't even have a release date really kind of hard line set.
Yeah.
So it sucks, but I don't think we're getting any Star Wars in the Super Bowl. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think we are. I'm just trying to be hopeful because, like, I was at London Celebration last year, and I know they have all these trailers because they showed us Acolyte, Bad Batch, Andor season 2, Skeleton Crew. We didn't see Tails, nothing for Tails, but I feel like on May the 4th, we'll either get a Tails trailer or they'll just drop it all on May the 4th.
I think they drop it all. I think we're gonna
Yeah.
trailer probably like in April or something. They just drop all of Tails in May. They have to have something in May. They just do. Uh, Last
They do.
celebration though was amazing. I'm not gonna lie. That celebration was cool. The way that and then they live cast it on YouTube and stuff. It was really cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that last celebration was awesome. So I wish I could go to Japan. There's just no way right now. But I think it'd
Mm.
be. I haven't been to a celebration night one. So I'm
No once
yep,
you go, you're
it's
never
hooked.
gonna wanna miss, man. It's
Yeah,
like it's like a drug. You're gonna be hooked, especially you being you, like, bro, and, like, oh, man. So, I have a feeling so with Celebration, sometimes they do it, like, they'll do it back-to-back years, then they skip a year, or it'll be 1 year, skip a year, 1 year, skip a year, back-to-back, skip a like, it's weird, it's mixed patterns, but right now, it's on an interesting one because it was supposed to be 2020, but because of the world shut down that year, 2021, nothing happened. So we had Anaheim 2022, we had London 2023. So it left the States and it hadn't left the States in a minute. And now it's going to Japan, which is crazy. I feel like 2025. Wait, yeah, I feel like 2025, they kind of have to do one because like you're gonna want to drop the trailer
there's
for
so much.
Mando that's
Yeah,
coming out in the next
yep,
year. So, yeah, man. Oh, actually, no, there's not one 2024. 2025 is Japan. We're getting it for sure. We're gonna get the Mando trailer, but 2026, they're gonna want to have one to give us the trailer for whatever's dropping in 2027, which is probably like that Ray movie and whatever other shows they're pushing. But 2027, they have to have one because that's the 50-year anniversary of A New Hope.
yeah.
So they
Especially
could
being
do
the first movie, you have to.
yeah, so they could do back to back in the States, 2026, 2027 in the US. So I guess we'll see, even though that would be like 3 in a row, but it hasn't been stateside in a minute, and Americans are mad, bro, because a lot of people wanted to go to London, but if you have a family of 4, you can't just that's crazy.
Yeah,
Flights, hotels, food.
yep. It's either like, "Hey, I'm leaving, stay with the kids for a few a few days, I'll be back." Which sometimes, like, with me with 3 teenagers, like, it's a little easier because they're older,
Yeah.
but even still, like, my wife would wanna come with me probably, she's
Yeah.
not a big nerd, but she would probably still wanna come with me, 'cause like, "Well, you're going to London? I'm coming too, done." Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think you're right, though. I think we need to have it in America. If it's in America again, I'm going for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think, yeah, I really would hope they do something big, just kinda go all out. They obviously, you saw all these shows, like, this whole stack of shows, like, all coming out, and you're like, "Yeah." Now it's like and you're like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
But like I said, right? Like I said, like, is the quality there, right? If it's not,
Mhm.
give me 2. Give me 2, right? If you can make sure the quality is good on 2, I'm good with that. I don't need 6 or 7 or 8. That's fine.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm actually excited for you to go to Japan. That'd be cool because obviously we're big gamers too. So, the whole Nintendo scene and
Yeah.
all that stuff there, dude, I'm so jealous
Bro,
because
I if so if there's anything specific you need, let me know. Just let me know, like, hey, I want this specific console, this
oh, yeah.
specific game. Like, I got you 100%. Because, bro, my itinerary is based around going to these retro game stores. So, like, are you familiar with like Hard Off and Book
Yep.
Off and Hobby Up? So, every hotel that I booked, I just switched to make sure that they were near either a bunch of hard offs or book offs. So as soon as we land, we're going right to the hotel, dropping the luggage off, and then there's 3 hard offs that we're going to
Right there.
right away. Like right, that's the first thing I'm doing in Japan is not sleeping to get used to the time. I'm Nintendo 64 hunting
So,
right away.
here's the big thing, right? So, like, I just had to go to Minneapolis for a business trip, and, like, while I'm there, right, there's, like, all these cool I always hit comic stores or wherever, right?
Mhm.
The issue is, how do you bring it home? So my question to you would be, how do you? Because sometimes for us, we're passionate about things. I mean, like, look how many I have, probably 700 Black Series figures, right?
Yeah.
So, like, Lego, all kind of stuff. So it's hard sometimes to kind of go, I need to get 2, not 20,
Yeah.
just 2. So how do you bring back, like, how do you control yourself when you go to a celebration and say, hey, look, there's gonna be stuff I want at celebration, and there's a bunch of Nintendo stuff I want. How do you go? You know what? My bag's only this big.
So easy, bro, and I already have that planned out. So the airline I'm flying, ANA Airlines, you get 2 free luggage. So I'm like, okay, cool, perfect. So one luggage is coming with full of clothes like normal. The second luggage is coming with a second empty luggage inside. So off rip, I'm gonna have 3 suitcases that I can fill up. I'm also bringing a giant duffel bag that'll be in the 2 empty suitcases. That way, when I get all my stuff, I'm gonna take all the clothes and put it in the giant duffel bag. That way, I'll have 3 full suitcases I can fill up with Nintendo 64s, Super Nintendos, Game Boys,
Yeah,
what PlayStations, like whatever. So, and then worst case, I would box it up and ship it because it's not every day I'm gonna be in Japan. and the prices on these consoles and games, you like
Yep.
there's stores where you could buy Nintendo 64 games for 70 cents. That is insane. I will
Yep.
buy every game that I don't have. So
I
there
just bought one. I think I told you, like, I bought one in a few games, and but I got all the games mint in box. So like I have
Ooh.
GoldenEye mint in box, like almost perfect
Ooh.
condition. So it wasn't
Yeah.
cheap, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not opening this. But I thought it'd kind of be like a, it'd be a power move, but like, look, I'm opening GoldenEye, like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
unbox. But nope, I went and picked up the $20 version down by the store, open. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm getting them all open. I'm not opening these boxes because it's cool, man. It's nostalgia's a thing, to relive that childhood stuff. Super
It
Mario RPG remake, all that stuff comes out. You're like, man, I got one of those things for a Christmas gift. The Mii things, little small Game Boy looking things,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like a really awesome screen, and they have all these games. I'm like, dude, I'm hooked on that. I'm like, I was playing Star Wars last night before I was going to bed. I was like,
Yeah.
and then I realized I'm 38. I can't play this anymore. Like, I can't jump like I used to. There's a lot of jumping
Yeah.
things. Like, I can't time it right. So
Yeah.
they get used to.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing I'm planning. It's just like a whole nostalgia hunt. I literally want to buy just every console and game that I had as a kid. So like every Nintendo, Super Nintendo, 64, Game Boy Color. I want to get every console again that I had and every game. That's like my main mission. So like those retro hunt videos from Japan are going to be so much fun. I cannot wait.
It's the mission of us all, brother. Like, trust me.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Like, I've always talked about this too, and I can mention this now because it's one of the things that's really core to me. Is like, I think people as nerds and as just people, there's a point in our lives where like either there's two things. Either your parents kind of suppressed it and said, "Hey, you need to
Mhm.
grow up." Lightsabers are fun, but like, come on, they don't pay the bills. Then hindsight, you're like, actually, they do. But
Yeah.
but I think with that, like sometimes we suppress like who we are,
Mhm.
push it away for a little bit, right? Some people are nerds their whole life, and they're like, you know what, I am who I am. Like I know, like Theory mentioned this one time, like being bullied for Star Wars. Like I was too.
Yeah.
I was in a small town in Louisiana, and it wasn't popular, to like Star Wars. We didn't have comic shops and stuff. So when I moved to Georgia, I was like, my people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, but I think people suppress it. But then, like when it comes back, it like comes back with a vengeance, and you're like,
It
yeah,
does.
I want my NES, I want my 64, I want my SNES, I
Yes.
want a PS1. Like when you boot up those games, there's just the memory, right? It's not just the emotion; it's that memory tied to
Yep.
the emotion, and just everything comes back. And you're like, I remember coming home, you know, either cooking some ramen noodles or some Chef Boyardee and hopping in the game and like having fun. So
Yeah.
that's what it is, man. That's why we hunt these things. Like you and I are very alike in that regard. Like obviously I have way too many things, but
Yeah.
it's just and it is it's I don't know if you could call it a disease, but my Rosses and everywhere else are not like yours. Like you send me, like you post these pictures. I'm like my stuff. Mine have none of that stuff. Not even close. But it's fun though because like I've kind of stopped with Black Series. Just
Mm.
FYI, just 'cause I was like the quality of figures has just kind of you know
Yeah, and then the price has gone up. It makes
yeah
no sense. It makes no sense.
makes like Hu Yang, right? We got Hu Yang as a figure, and it's not a great figure. And I'm like, ah, man, it sucks because I really like him. So and but like my big thing though is if you go buy McFarlane, like if McFarlane had Star Wars, dude.
The quality, yeah.
If you look at those DC figures compared to the Star Wars figures, like the quality's just night and day. Like I have all the Dune figures and stuff. Like Hot Toys are my thing. I got a lot of Hot
Yeah.
Toys to unbox. I have like 10 over there stacked, like just waiting.
Damn.
And I have these limited edition spawns, but I know it's not Star Wars. But like that's the thing I want. Black Series, get your stuff together. But
Yeah.
the Black Series helmets though, I know you got some. I got
Yeah.
I got about 12. So
Nice, nice.
and I ordered the Rex one, so that'll be a cool.
Yeah, you saw that, what was it? Figure Brian posted that picture of it out of it looks way better in that picture out
Yeah.
of box. Like, I was like,
The welding
"Damn."
details and all that stuff. And I love
Yeah.
that whole story too. Like, why did he do that? Well, because you couldn't see. He wanted the best of both worlds. He wanted the phase 2 and the phase 1, put them together. So good. So, and I also don't think, by the way, it's the stormtroopers are bad shots. Well, I think it's a mixture of them having bad shots and not being able to see. Like they
Not be
all
able to
like Rex
see.
throws that helmet, I can't see anything, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the story, like, right? What happens when they aged out? Like, what happens when the clones went away and they had to start recruiting people, right? So the Empire couldn't keep clones forever. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's why the quality did like this. The clones went out, and then people started coming in, just regular old people. They're not
Yeah.
all Jango Fett, man. Like, like
I know.
the clones are all
Yeah.
Jango Fett. They're all like basically Mandalorian. So yeah.
Damn. So that's pretty much everything that I got. What do you got coming up next on your channel that the people could look forward to?
Oof. I guess I can say it now, but I won't kind of allude to it. We have a May the 4th trailer coming out.
Ooh.
So we did Revan last year. Our Harry Potter one didn't go as planned. So we're putting all our eggs into the basket of a May the 4th trailer coming. So be a little lookout for that. That's a pretty big deal. We're going all out. We actually have the Ahsoka visual effects team on board. So we're kind of
Nice.
going all out. It's gonna be a story about a character we'll reveal soon that I kind of concepted and created. So it's a new character, but in the universe, but a really cool story. Then we have a bunch of shows. Like basically, it's just trying to get. So Nerd Talk is kind of like what we're doing here. We're going to
Yeah.
different comic shops and interview comic shops. We have international people.
Oh,
I'm going to do StreamYard. We're going to have some video game devs to talk through like their side of the story, not just like the execs, right? Like what does a
nice.
music composer at Respawn do, right? Right. So like who did the music for Jedi Survivor? Let's talk about that. Like how did you
Yeah.
come up with all these things? Uh, and talk to other nerds. Like I'm not really big on the whole celebrity thing. I want to talk to real people, right?
Yeah.
That's what matters. Like people like us that are like just everyday people. We have a nerd cooking show coming out. Uh, so nerd snacks and stuff. Have a nerdcade video game thing. We're gonna do like vintage stuff, but also maybe stream game stuff too. We have lots of things. We have a lightsaber path, which is like a whole. Uh, it's a guy that does kung fu martial arts swordsmanship
Mhm.
mixed with Japanese kendo with Jedi style lightsaber fights. And so he actually trains
Nice.
people on this. So it's actually a fighting style. It's not just swinging it around.
Yeah.
Uh, and the idea is to actually play on that and do classes, like do lightsaber fitness. Like, come on, who would not want to do that? Right? Let's make it fun, but also like really cool with the swords.
Yeah.
We have a lot of things coming, and it's really cool to see the passion, and I'm never gonna stop. Like this is the end game. This is the dream.
Yeah.
So many cool things. We're all going to launch a website probably in a couple months, a whole merch website. We're going to have all our merch on there. We're going to have stuff for cosplay. So, like, if people want to get into cosplay, how do you get in there and make it accessible, right? Well, make a
Oh.
cosplay show and show them techniques, but then also here's materials. Here's how you can get these types of things to make these things, right?
Yeah.
We have a Dungeons and Dragons thing coming too, tabletop stuff, tabletop heroes. It'll be all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's big, it's
It's a
ambitious.
lot of work, man.
It's big, it's ambitious, but I wouldn't have it any other way, because
Yeah.
I think this is where the passion is, and you can see it in you when you talk and Will talks. Like there's a passion for these types of things, and
Yeah.
it's part of who we are, and I think that's why we're so resolute on that stuff. So that's why the whole motto is never grow up. Be you.
Yeah.
Like just these things are freaking cool, and there's so many people out there. I think the biggest thing we could all learn from each other though is you may love Andor, I may hate Andor, but just because someone hates it doesn't mean they're wrong. Or just because
Yeah.
someone loves it doesn't mean they're wrong. We all have difference of opinions.
Yep.
Talk about it. Let's talk through why we think that. But hope nerds are dope. Overall, nerds are awesome. Like we're all really cool. Whether you call yourself a nerd or a geek, we're all really cool,
Yeah.
and we all kind of take care of each other. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been really cool meeting you. Really cool to see your channel progress too, because like your YouTube really kind of started taking off pretty quick too.
Thank you.
Doing really cool stuff. I love watching you play video games too. Like just
Yeah.
you were a genuine dude, Tony. And
Yes.
that's the whole point, man. It's just being a genuine person. So
No, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, and that's what I try to be. Like, I'm just me. Like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, oh well. I'm still gonna be the same guy, playing these same games, watching these same shows,
yep,
going to these same Rosses, opening these same helmets. Like, like I'm gonna do it regardless if the views are there or not, because that's just me. So I'm just
that's
being
what
authentic.
that's what most YouTubers lose sight of. Like, I mean, how many YouTubers quit last year, right? Because
Yeah,
they got fixated on like this skit that blew up and they just stuck to it. And it's like, well, was that really you? Well, no, you acted,
yeah.
right? So I think so just a little update, yeah. The content's gonna start coming pretty hot and heavy after I get through some projects, but I've kind of been neglecting YouTube, but it's gonna start coming pretty hot and heavy pretty soon. So and then maybe we can do some partnerships and some stuff and do some cool stuff, but
Oh yeah,
it'll be
always.
fun. It'll be fun, man. Like, yeah, never grow up, man. It's gonna be the thing, be the motto.
Yes, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
And that'll be it for this episode of Sith Talk, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.